லைவ் கொடுத்தாங்க போல
பிபிடி போட்டு விட்டுறேன்.
ஆமா
லைவ்ல போவோம்.
லைவ்ல போகலாம்.
சார் ரெக்கார்டிங் கரெக்டாக 6:30க்கு மீட்டில் ஆட் பண்ணிட்டுங்களாங்க சார். சார் மீட்டிங்லங்க சார் லைவ் ரெக்கார்டிங் போடுவாங்க சார். அது வந்து கரெக்டாக பேச ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ் முன்னாடி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க சார். மீட்டிங் கரெக்டாக. எஸ் சார் போட்டு விட்டுறேன் சார். எஸ் சார்.
லைவ்
ஓகே. மைக் ஆஃப் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
Hello. Yeah, Gana, we'll start the session.
Yes, sir. Pleasant evening to all. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 5 days faculty development program on effective research paper writing strategies and high impact journal publication techniques, organized by the Department of Computer Applications, Kongu Engineering College, Perendurai, Tamil Nadu. The main objective of this session is to enable scholars to write research papers that are clear, concise, and impactful. This includes techniques for organizing ideas, conducting thorough literature reviews, structuring the paper effectively, and communicating research findings in a compelling manner. Let's take this chance to learn more and connect with others who are also interested in writing great research papers and getting published in top journals. Welcome, where open arms meet open minds, and every newcomer finds their place in our community. With this note, we extend our heartfelt greetings to our esteemed resource person, dedicated organizing team, distinguished faculties, and researchers. Today's session is centered around navigating the path to high quality publications and identifying predatory journals. We are thrilled to have an exceptional speaker joining us who will be sharing invaluable insights today. Without delay, let me introduce our esteemed speaker for today's session. It gives me an immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. Babu Balraj sir, our esteemed guest speaker for today's event. We welcome you, sir. He had earned his PhD in 2017 from Bharatiyar University in India, where he dedicated himself to rigorous academic pursuit and groundbreaking research. He embarked on a path of international collaboration and excellence. He served as a postdoctoral researcher in the Department of Physics at the National Chung Cheng University in Taiwan from 2018 to 2019. Continuing his pursuit of academic excellence, he then joined the Department of Electrical Engineering at the prestigious National Tsinghua University in Taiwan, where he contributed his expertise from 2019 to 2021. His commitment to scholarly advancement extends beyond his research endeavors. With over 75 publications indexed in the Web of Science, he has demonstrated a dedication to sharing knowledge and contributing to the academic community. He assumed the role of publishing director at IOR Press, Coimbatore. Under his leadership, groundbreaking initiatives were introduced, notably the incorporation of DOI numbers in publishing Tamil scholarly articles and books, a pioneering move in India. Since 2022, he has continued his academic journey as an associate professor of physics at KPIA Institute of Engineering and Technology in Coimbatore. Bringing with him a wealth of experience and expertise, he plays a pivotal role in shaping the minds of future generations of scholars and researchers. Now, I request Dr. Babu Balraj sir to take over the session.
Very good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the FDP Organizing Committee, Congo Engineering College, Department of MCA, Congo Engineering College, for arranging this wonderful FDP. Actually, this is the need of an hour. So I would like to thank the management, Congo Engineering College, for giving me this opportunity. So currently, actually, I couldn't able to share my PPT. I just shared it to the committee members. So in a few minutes, I will start my talk.
Can I please have the PPT immediately?
So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the introduction. So, madam, you can go to the next slide now. You can go to the next slide. Very good evening to everyone. So nowadays, being a scholar and being a faculty member, to submit your thesis, to get a job, to get a promotion, and to obtain a funded funding project, and also for awards, nowadays it becomes mandatory to publish high quality articles in good journals. Also from the institution perspectives, the total number of articles produced from the institution and number of citations are the crucial factors in obtaining NAAC, NBA, and other accreditations. So due to this high publication demand, many number of predatory, cloned, and hijacked journals has been emerged in the past few decades. And these journals are just looting the money from the authors, and they do not uphold any editorial, peer review, or publication ethics. They just collect the money from the authors in the form of article processing fees. So in the over past 5 years, it has been drastically increased. 5 to 10 years drastically increased. So considering this situation, UGC has constituted a committee in 2018 and formed a new database called UGC CAR list of journals. So in the UGC CAR list of journals, again they have divided the group into two categories. The first one is Group 1 journals and the second one is Group 2 journals. Whereas the Group 2 journals that are already listed in standard databases like Web of Science, Scopus. For language journals, there is a database called Modern Language Association. So the journals that are already indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, and Modern Language Associations will be automatically included in the UGC CAR Group 2 journals list. Whereas in the Group 1, for inclusion of journals in the Group 1, the journal recommendation form should be submitted by any of the faculty members working in academic institutions through state or Central University IQAC Center. So they will forward the form to the UGC CAR Pune. The UGC empowered committee will evaluate the journal. If it meets if the journal meets the UGC protocol, UGC evaluation protocol, then it will be included in the UGC CAR Group 2 list of journals. So these journals will be frequently evaluated by UGC, and the journals which are the journals which do malpractice will be immediately terminated from the UGC CAR list. So also from UGC journal, you can also see, apart from these legitimate journals, UGC has also listed journals that are predatory, cloned, or hijacked. So in the UGC Group 2, currently there are 54 journals are listed, whereas Group 1 there are 54 journals are listed, whereas in the Group 2 around 96 journals are listed. So we already know Group 1 journals are that are qualified under UGC protocol, whereas the Group 2 journals are indexed in standard databases like Scopus and Web of Science. So in these 96 journals, the past 5 years, more than 10,000 articles has been published. And the sad reality is the authors who has published in these journals never know that their article is not going to be indexed in databases, Scopus or Web of Science databases. So these journals will charge from 5,000 to 8,000 as a processing fee from the authors. So in the past 5 years, they have published more than 10,000 articles. Then you can assume the number of amount they have collected from the authors. So how to identify predatory journal and legitimate journal? So it is very important to know the difference between legitimate and predatory journals. So now let's get into the discussion. Next slide. So these are some of the legitimate scholarly indexing databases. So whenever you are applying your article to submitting your article to some of the journal, you should always make sure whether the journal is listed in these databases. So which is a crucial factor. The first one is Web of Science. So we all know SCA indexed. If you are engineering people, you very well know about SCA, Science Citation Index. If it is a social sciences, it's Social Sciences Citation Index. The second one is Scopus databases. The third one is PubMed or Medline, which is related to health science, which is hosted by National Health Science Library, USA. So when you publish articles in PubMed, especially in as an open access, your article visibility will be very high, and it will gain more number of attractions. The possibility to gain more number of attractions. And the DOAJ and Cabal directories. So these two are the main databases, because DOAJ maintains the list of white journals in this scholarly industry, whereas the Cabal's directory maintains the list of both whitelisted journals as well as blacklisted journals. So when it comes to the Open Access Publisher Association, WOSPA, to become a member in WOSPA, journals should be indexed in DOAJ. So for getting a journal in DOAJ, to become a member in DOAJ for a journal is not easy. Once the journal is evaluated, if it is rejected, then the journal has to wait for 1 year or 2 years. Again, they have to evaluate. It will go on years. So once the journal get DOAJ indexing, then only they could be able to apply for WOSPA, Open Access Scholarly Publisher Association. So whenever you are publishing an article in some non-Scopus or non-Web of Science indexed journals, if the journal is a member of DOAJ, or if it is listed in Cabal's directory or a member of WOSPA, then you can submit your article without any hesitation, because in the future, when the journal goes for evaluation, Scopus as well as Web of Science evaluation, it will be indexed without any issue. And COP, Committee on Publication Ethics. So Committee on Publication Ethics is the one which formulates the publication ethics, and which is followed by all over the journals from Nature to normal journals, because in the entire world, majority of all the journals, all the scientific journals is following COPE ethics. That means COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics, every year they will formulate and they will revise the policies, the publication ethics policies, and the journals will adopt the policies that are formulated by COPE, and also they can become a member in COPE. So if the journal becoming a member in COPE is also not very easy. It's a very lengthy process. It may take around 2 to 3 years. So if the journal is a COPE member, then we can consider it as a legitimate journal. So in India, if you take COPE member, we can count the journals. There may be around below 20 journals. Only below 20 journals are listed in COPE member. And UGC Carnish and Association of Learned and Professional Society Publishers. So these elsewhere, Clarivate and OSPA all are a member in Association of Learned and Professional Society Publishers. So these membership will be awarded to the journals only that are following proper publication standards or that are following regulations that is formulated by Committee on Publication Ethics. So these are some of the legitimate indexing databases. So whenever you are applying or submitting your article for some of the journal, you should always make sure the journal is listed in any of these databases. So some journals may display their journal is indexed in Scopus or Web of Science, but whenever you are applying, you should go to the respective websites and you should check and make sure the journal is indexed. So next, we can go on. Next we can go on. Yes. So this is the history of citation index. The word citation index, first coined by Eugene Garfield, is an American linguistics. He is the founder of Institute for Scientific Information, and he introduced the concept of indexing, and he introduced the Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities Citation Index, and Journal Citation Report. So Journal Citation Reports is nothing but our impact factor, JCR impact factor. So he founded the Institute for Scientific Information, and he was publishing SCI and Arts and Humanities cited indexing list of journals in the form of CD and floppy disk. So later the introduction of Google, it became online. Yes. Next. Now we can go to next slide. So this is the history of citation index. So majority of us know only about Science Citation Index and Scopus. So in 1960, Institute for Scientific Information is founded. So in 1964, Science Citation Index has been introduced. So when it comes to the Science Citation Index, it covers science, engineering, and medicine. In 1973, Social Sciences Citation Index has been introduced. So when it comes to the Social Sciences Citation Index, the subjects like business, law, and political science, management, commerce. So these kind of subjects were listed in sociology, and these kind of subjects were listed in Social Sciences Citation Index. And in 1976, Journal Citation Reports, which is nothing but an impact factor for the journals, has been the theory has been proposed. And in 1978, Arts and Humanities Citation Index is introduced. So many of us might have some confusion. Scopus and Web of Science. So Scopus is a single database, whereas the Web of Science is like an umbrella. So where for Scopus, for science, engineering, for social science, arts and humanities, everything will be indexed in the name of Scopus, whereas in the Web of Science, for science, engineering, and medicine, it will be indexed under Science Citation Index. Whereas for management and social sciences journals, it will be indexed under Social Sciences Citation Index. So these both Science Citation Index and Social Sciences Citation Index will have an impact factor. Whereas if you take Arts and Humanities Citation Index, some geography, archaeology, and some of the rare, some subject will be very unique, and it may not get or attract more number of citations. So we cannot exclude those subjects. So that's why they have introduced the Arts and Humanities Citation Index, but the impact factor will be assigned only to Science Citation Index and Social Sciences Citation Index. So for Arts and Humanities Citation Index will be only an indexing. Articles indexed in these Arts and Humanities will not be given impact factor. Just considering the importance of the subject, they have included this indexing. So in 1992, the Institute for Scientific Information has been transferred to Thomson Corporation, And again, it has been changed its name to Web of Science. In 2018, again, they have changed their name to Clarivate Analytics for Academia and Industry. So at this moment, Web of Science covers 33,000, more than 33,000 journals, books, conference proceedings, conference meetings, etc. Next. So this is some of the Web of Science core collections. Science Citation Index expanded, we know this is for science, engineering and medicine, social sciences citation index and arts and humanities citation index. When it comes to conference, unlike Scopus, if you go to Scopus, material science proceeding and IOP conference proceedings will be indexed in Scopus, right? But whereas in the Web of Science core collections, conference proceedings will not be indexed in major databases. It will be indexed under conference proceedings citation index. Also, when it comes to books, when you go for a Scopus, the book will be indexed in Scopus. Directly, it will be indexed in the Scopus database. Whereas for the book, the book will be indexed under the book citation index. So again, they have launched a new citation index called Emerging Sources Citation Index. So already they have so many citations, but again they have launched Emerging Sources Citation Index. Why? So in Emerging Sources Citation Index, they just identify good quality journals, good quality emerging journals, and they will index in Emerging Sources Citation Index, and it will be evaluated periodically. When it qualifies, then it will be included in the respective science, social science or arts and humanities databases. Unlike Science Citation Index and Social Sciences Citation Index, Emerging Sources Citation Index will not have an impact factor. So that's why in the last year, some journals in the Emerging Sources Citation Index listed in some journals, is Emerging Sources Citation Index for more than 10 years or more than 10 years, whereas some journals in Emerging Sources Citation Index moved to SCI or SSCI in few years. So authors could not able to identify the quality journals that are listed in Emerging Sources Citation Index. So Web of Science, the last year Web of Science has introduced a new parameter called Journal Citation Indicator. Can you go to the next slide now? Yes. So the Emerging Source Citation Index was launched in 2015 by Thomson Reuters as a new database in Web of Science. So irrespective of subject, all the journals from all the domains, emerging journals from all the domains will be included in the Emerging Sources Citation Index, and these journals will not receive an impact factor. However, their citation will be included in the Web of Science database. So in 2021, they have introduced a parameter called Journal Citation Indicators. As we discussed, some journals in the EACA will be there for more than 10 years. Some journals in the EACA is moved to SCI or SSCA in very few years, maybe in 2 years, 1 year. If you go to Springer, IEEE or Science Direct journals, after 2 years, they can go for EACA. So in the 3 years or in the 4th year, it will be included in the Science Citation Index or Social Sciences Citation Index. Whereas for normal journals, it may take many years to include in the major databases. Yeah. So that's why they have introduced a parameter called Journal Citation Indicator. If the Journal Citation Indicator is more than 1, you can assume the quality of the journal is very high. Then there's a very high possibility to go and get into the Web of Science Web of Science database, which is Science Citation or Social Sciences Citation Index. So whenever you are applying for Emerging Sources Citation journals with Emerging Sources Citation Index, you should always make sure or you should always see the Journal Citation Indicator value for the journal. And some journals in their website, they mentioned that their journal is indexed in zoological record or some other current content or some other record, and they mentioned it is indexed in Web of Science. But you should make sure journals that are indexed in zoological record and other smaller databases will not be included in the Web of Science main database, which means your article will not be included in the Web of Science database. Next, we can move on. So Scopus, so we have discussed Web of Science, It's like an umbrella. For science, it has a science citation index. For science, engineering, medicine, it has a science citation index. Whereas for social sciences, it has social sciences citation index. Arts and humanities, it has a arts and humanities citation index. In these three, impact factor will be assigned only to the science citation index and social sciences citation index. So for ESA, they won't assign impact factor. They will assign only a journal citation indicator value. So this is like an umbrella when we go for Web of Science. Whereas in the Scopus is a single database. Scopus is founded in 2004 by Elsevier. So it's an abstract and citation database. Scopus covers more than 36 journals, books, conference proceedings. Next. Can we go to the next slide? So ranking of journals. So often we might heard about Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So based on their total number of citations, let's say in sports category, only 100 journals are listed in Scopus database. Out of 100, top 25 journals that has more number of citations. If the first journal has 1,000 citations for 100 articles, maybe it will be. Sorry, let's make it very simple. For sports category, there is only 100 journals. The top 25 will be considered as Q1, whereas the second 25 to 50 will be considered as Q2. The third 50 to 75 will be considered as Q3, and the final 75 to 100 will be considered as Q4 journals. These rankings are mainly based on their citations, the total number of citations, total number of articles published. So in the when we come for Scopus, the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 ranking can be obtained from the Scopus website in free of cost. So even you can filter the based on the subject, you can filter the quartile ranking and you can extract the journals. But in the case of Web of Science, we should have access. Without having access, we cannot take this quartile ranking journals. Yes. Next slide. So this is the concept behind the impact factor and site score. So when it comes to Web of Science, the total number of articles published in the last 2 years. The first one you can see the number of citable items in 2019, 2020, which means the total number of articles published in the last 2 years, total number of citations gained for those articles in the last 2 years. Let's say in 2019 and 20, 165, 330 articles are published. The number of citations gained for those articles published in 2009 and 2020 is around 6,101. So the impact factor for the journal is 18.488. Whereas it comes to the Scopus, the concept is same, but instead of 2 years, the Scopus will consider 3 years. So here in the bottom, you can see number of documents published in the last 3 years, 2018 to 21. Number of citations obtained for the articles published in the last 3 years. So here it is mentioned as impact factor, whereas in the Scopus, it is mentioned as site score. So when it comes to Web of Science, number of articles in the articles published in the last 2 years, number of citations obtained in the last 2 years will be considered as an impact factor for the journal. Whereas for Scopus, number of articles published in the last 3 years and citations obtained in the last 3 years will be considered as site score. So this is the difference between Scopus and Web of Science. And many people confuse that Scopus has an impact factor. Let me make it clear. Scopus is owned by an Elsevier company. So Scopus has more than 2,000 journals. All the Elsevier journal obtain impact factor from Web of Science. So in the scientific community, Web of Science is the only company which provides impact factor to the journals. No other company will provide impact factor to the journals. So whenever some journal display, they have GIF or some other impact factor, fake impact factor and the journals, you can make sure that their journal is fake. Let's go to the next slide now. So PubMed is developed by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, provides access to the bibliographic citations. So let's say if you are working in computer science or some IT or biology, some of the nano journals and medicine journals. So some of the journals which covers these subjects will be included in PubMed. So articles included in these PubMed will have a very high visibility and contain more number of citations. So this is one of the important database.
जाके देखो तो दिख भी जाए मेरे ख्याल से मम्मी तूने कपड़े झटक के करेंगे तो फिर मकड़ी नहीं आ जाए अरे नहीं आप इधर करेंगे
Next slide. So UGC CAT. So as we discussed, due to the high number of more number of predatory, fake and cloned journals has been emerged, UGC constituted a committee and they have formed a UGC CAD list of journals in 2018. So we have already discussed it has two groups, list group 1 and group 2. If the journal is indexed in Scopus or Web of Science, only Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities Citation Index and Social Sciences Citation Index and Scopus will be considered. Emerging sources citation indexed journals will not be included in the group 2. So please make sure the emerging sources citation index journals, book citation index, conference proceeding citation index will not be included in group 2. Only science citation, social sciences citation, and arts and humanities citation index will be included in the group 2 and Scopus. So when it comes to the list group 1, it will be selected based on the UGC evaluation protocol. Yes. Go to the next slide. So these are some of the publication ethics regulatory bodies. So Directory of Open Access Journals and Cable's Directory and Open Access Publisher Association and Association of Learned and Professional Society Publishers, Committee on Publication Ethics, International Committee on Medical Journal Editors. So these are the publication regulatory ethics regulatory bodies. Actually, they formulate publication ethics every year, whereas the ALP is the Association of Learned and Professional Society Learned and Professional Society Publishers has their own journal called Learned Publishing. They are publishing their journal in association with YD. If you have a time, whenever you have a time, you can visit the journal. The articles related to predatory indexing, publication ethics will be many number of those kind of articles will be available in ALP, that Learned Publishing Journal, and you can access those journals for free of cost. It is many of the articles are open access, so you can read them. So you should make sure whenever you are submitting your article to the journal, at least you should make sure the journal should be a member in these kind of journals. If you take elsewhere, if you take IEEE, all the journals will be listed in these regulatory bodies, but many of our articles may not go to those very high impact factors. Sometimes we may go for some Scopus indexed journal or some other UGC CAR indexed journals. So whenever you are going for those kind of journals, you should make sure at least the journal is member in any of these bodies. Yes. Next slide now. So the next one is cross reference. So cross reference provides DOA number for the articles, so which act as a bridge between indexing databases, publishers, universities, societies and libraries, and government funding agencies. So previously, cross-reference were providing only DOA number to the articles. So DOA number is nothing but a unique identification, digital object identifier, which is a unique identification number for your article. This is a unique identification number for your article. And previously they were providing only DOA numbers, but now they could be able to include more number of data in the DOA. Now, can you go to the next slide now? Yes. So now the DOA it contains more number of data. So they were just sharing our data to the Web of Science, Scopus, and other regulatory bodies. So these are some of the facilities that is provided by the DOA. Next one. So these are the preservation databases. So nowadays, whenever the journal goes for indexing Web of Science or Scopus, the indexing databases will ask whether the journal has some preservation database policy or not. So some journals may vanish after 10 years or 15 years. So some journals may be listed in Scopus or Web of Science. If it is delisted, then after some years the website may not be there, our articles may not be there. So all the indexing databases are pushing the journals. Their journal should be a member in any of the preservation databases. So these are the famous databases: Clocks, Portico, Logs, JCAT, and British Library. So whenever you are publishing your article, you should also make sure your the journal is listed in any of these preservation databases. So when the journal is not there, then your article will be preserved in these databases and it will be open. It will be open to public. Yes, ma'am. Next slide. So these are some of the predatory indexing databases: Academic Resource Index, International Scientific Indexing, Scientific Journal Impact Factor, Scientific Indexing Services, Cosmos Impact Factor, Global Impact Factor, Scope Database. So whenever you go for some predatory index, you could see these kind of indexing logos on their website, but they are actually predatory. And some journals, they mention their journal impact factor is 5, 8, 10. So as we discussed, Web of Science is the only body or only company which provides impact factor for the journals. So whenever you are submitting your article to the journal, you should make sure the journal is listed in Web of Science. And also, as we discussed, for emerging sources citation index, they don't assign impact factor, but they assign journal citation indicator value. But I have noticed that even some Science Direct and Springer journals, they misuse that journal citation indicator as an impact factor. They have just mentioned journal impact factor like 2, 1. But when we go for their indexing information, it shows their journal is only indexed in emerging sources citation index. So actually they should mention JCI instead of IF. But there are also some journals are also misleading the scholars. So whenever you are applying, you should make sure the journal doesn't have any predatory indexing logos. Next slide. So this is one of the best website. So if you have an article, you don't know how to evaluate the quality of the journal, then you can visit the website thinkcheckandSubmit.org. So there it will ask questions about the journal and their ethics and other processes. If you give an answer, it will give you whether the journal is predatory or scholarly. So based on this, you can choose the journal. So this is one of the best website. Yes, next. So some of the salient uses of potential predatory journals, they may display fake metrics or metrics on the website. So they will fail to check the plagiarism. So if the article has very high plagiarism, then it will never going to be get indexed in Scopus as well as Web of Science. So fake or poor editorial board members. Actually, before 2 years back in Science is a very famous journal. In Science, one of the author has published an article regarding this person, Ali Riza Kidari, California South University. He is an editor-in-chief for more than 100 Indian journals. He has published articles in all the subjects: medicine, chemistry, engineering, everything. He has published an article. But the California South University doesn't exist in USA. But he has his affiliation from California South University. Even this person stating that he's a doctorate and he's working in this university, but people couldn't able to locate him. So whenever you are publishing an article in some journals, you should check the editorial board members' credibility, how many articles they have published. Because when the journal goes for SCA index, you say you are publishing your article in Scopus index journals. In future, they may have a possibility to go for SCA. So whenever you go for some journal, you should check the quality of the board members, how many articles they have published. Some journals might have displayed the Scopus ID and other details on the website. You should check the quality of the editorial board members, which is more important. And some cloned journals and hijacked journals, they will display only names and they will not display their email, official email ID and other addresses, which means they do not get permission from the from the professors. They just display their names without their consent. So this is also nowadays a very big issue. And some journals, even they write an article and they publish an article on their website in some famous person names. So this is also an issue. And rapid publication without peer review. Some journals publish article within 48 hours, 24 hours. Even in their website, they will mention we will publish article within 24 hours. So if the journal mentions rapid publication without peer review, you should not go to those kind of journals. So journals without physical address, majority of the cloned journals will not have a physical address. So non-professional, non-affiliated email addresses. So the journal should have professional email ID, not Gmail, Yahoo, or Reddit mail. The journal should have professional email address. Each published article will have a unique digital object identifier. So nevertheless, it can be checked at DOA.org. So if you are publishing an article after publication, you should check the DOA number in this DOA website, DOA.org website. If you check the website, it has to take to your article. If it shows DOA's error or some other issue, which means the publisher has not deposited your DOA in a proper manner, or the DOA is fake. And second thing, DOA numbers always starts with 10 point. Here in the bottom, you can see International Journal of Legal Research and Analysis. So in the article, some of the articles they have mentioned that the DOA number is 07, but actually DOA number always start with 10. So 07 is fake. So many journals, they provide fake DOA numbers. So whenever you are publishing your article, you must check your DOA number in the DOA website. So which is mandatory. Next. So webology. So some journals on their website, they just mention their journal is indexed in Scopus, but their journal might be discontinued from the Scopus, but they will display that their journal is indexed in Scopus. They may frequently send mail to the author stating that articles published on their website will be indexed in Scopus. So whenever you are submitting some article to the journal, you should visit Scopus website. Just go to the Scopus website, and where in the title you can, if you type the journal name, it will show you the entire details. So in the webology, you can see from 2016 to 2021. In the bottom, they have clearly mentioned coverage discontinued in Scopus. Also, some journals, some cloned journals, how to identify the cloned website and original website. If you go to the Scopus website, there you can find the source homepage. So for majority of the journals, the Scopus has source homepage. If you click this source homepage, it will take you to the original journal website. So whenever you are going for a Scopus journal, you should make sure the journal should be present. See in the right side, I have given some International Research Journal of Multidisciplinary Technovation from 2019 to present. So the journal is presently indexed in Scopus. Whereas in the webology, the journal is discontinued in 2021. So before going to the journal, you should always check whether the journal is still in Scopus or discontinued. And regarding this webology journal, before getting Scopus, they were publishing only the article related to computer science. But after getting Scopus, they have started publishing articles from medicine, biology, language, physics, material science. So that's why their journal is discontinued from Scopus. So when we choose the right journal, we should make sure just read at least one or two recent issues in the journal and make sure they have published an article in the relevant field. Next. So these are some of the trends. You can identify whether the journal will be in Scopus for a continuous years or not. So I have compared the two journals: British Journal of Sports Medicine, Indian Journal of Science and Technology. If you take British Journal of Sports Medicine from 2013, in the last 10 years, you could see the total number of articles has been not increased. It's in almost same. They are maintaining same count. Whereas in the Indian Journal of Science and Technology, in the 2018, they have published only 66 documents. Whereas in 2016, they have published 3,027 documents. The journal has been discontinued on the same year. Same because of this issue, MDPA and Hindawi in recent days, they are facing some severe issues. So whenever you are going for some journal, you should make sure the journal is not increasing the number of total number of documents in a drastic way. Next one. So this is the journal listed in UGC CAR Group 2. This journal belongs to the Chinese, in some of the Chinese university. So where if you go to the Scopus page, the journal is presently indexed by Scopus, whereas you can find the source home page, but it will take you to the original website, whereas the page I have pasted here is a cloned journal website, so which is operated by a cyber criminal. So whenever you are going for Scopus or Web of Science, you should check the home page, which is much more important. So I'll tell you one thing. The last 5 years, more than 10,000 articles has been published in these cloned journals, and majority of the articles, more than 40% of the articles are published in the engineering faculty members. Engineering faculties working in engineering colleges as well as universities. So whenever you are going to the journal, you should make sure the journal homepage is right. Next slide. So previously we have seen the cloned website. Now this is the legitimate website for the journal that is indexed in Scopus. So to always check twice whether you are submitting your article to the right journal. Next. Yes. So this is one of the journal, International Journal of Applied Exercise Physiology. So on their website, they were just mentioned that the journal is listed in Emerging Sources Citation Index as well as DOAJ. Ma'am, can you go to the next slide, ma'am? So we're checking the journal is in Web of Science is very simple. Just go to the Web of Science master list. If you type Web of Science master list in Google, it will take you to this page. So you need not to log in, you need not to pay anything. Just go to this website where you can paste the journal title or journal ISSN number. It will show you whether the journal is indexed in Web of Science or not. If it is indexed in Web of Science, it will show in which database it is indexed, either Science Citation Index or Emerging Sources Citation Index. So some journals, they just claim their journal is indexed in Web of Science, so which is also considered as predatory. So without checking the respective website, you should not go to the journal. Next slide. Also in the Scopus, if you go to the Scopus source page, simply if you have the subject area, where you can filter the ranking, quartile ranking, and journals which are listed. So which is totally free. Also, I could not able to paste that ranking at the last moment. That's why I left it. So even in the Scopus, just go to the Scopus source page where you can paste the instead of subject area, if you change to title, where you can paste or type the journal name. So it will show you whether the journal is presently indexed in Scopus or not. If it is not indexed, don't go for it. And also, if the journal is publishing too much papers, my personal advice, do not go for that journal. Maybe after some time, the article may be discontinued or de-indexed from the database. Next slide. And can you go to the next slide? So these are some of the leading publishers: Springer, Elsevier, PMC, Frontiers, MDPI, Nature, Taylor and Francis Wiley. So when you submit your articles to these kind of journals, you need not to check directly. You can publish your article in these journals. But before choosing the right journal, just go and check their indexing, whether the journal is indexed in both Scopus and SCE. Just check the quartile, whether the journal is Q1 or Q2. Just to make sure, only in Scopus you can check their ranking. In Web of Science, you cannot check the ranking without having subscription. So just make sure this indexing and impact factor and a site score, then you can go for these journals. Yes. When you go for normal publishers, some small, some independent publishers or small scale publishers, you should make sure the previous discussions. Should make sure the journal is a member of some of the databases. And DOAJ, so these are the useful links. In DOAJ, you can search and you can access the articles. So it contains more than 15,000 open access journals. So where you can download articles for free of cost. So oatt.org is a website where you can download foreign PhD theses for your research. So eBasco Open Dissertation is also free, where you can download Indian as well as foreign PhD theses for free of cost. Yes. Now the session is open to questions. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, how we identify fake and cloned? Some people have asked questions. How we identify fake and cloned journals? So that's why I have mentioned. Just go to the ISSN website where you can check the journal website, or just go to the Scopus. In the Scopus, they will provide source homepage. You will have source homepage. If you click the source homepage, it will directly take you to the journal. And also, if you just go to the Google, just check who and who's in a website. There you will get all the detailed information about the journal website details, when the website is created, when the article started posting. So all the information will be there. If you take the cloned journals, cloned Scopus and Web of Science journals, if you check in Q on Who's, you can find many of the URLs were purchased within a year or 2 years. So you can make sure like that. Regarding the minimum time period for peer review, someone has asked, it depends upon the journal, because when I was publishing papers in 2011, 2010, there was no peer review for majority of the journals. If you send an article to the journal, after a 3 months or 2 months period, without any peer review, they will send a mail stating that your article has been accepted in its present form. But nowadays, the situation is, scenario is entirely different. Each and every journal has to maintain their peer review records. They cannot provide direct acceptance for any articles. So it totally depends on the reviewer. If they are inviting more number of reviewers, if no one is willing to review your article, they have to invite more number of reviewers. It totally depends on the channel.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Actually, I belong to English department, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I belongs to English department, sir, and it's very difficult to find the journals in Scopus as well as in the Web of Science, because many the colleges are expecting the citations and the markings from the Web of Science or Scopus. But I think we have only options to publish the papers only in UGC.
No, sir.
And
Scopus,
as you mentioned,
actually, in Scopus and Web of Science, there are n number of journals are available for English language. So the problem with India, so previously when I was working in a publishing company, I have seen many number of articles. So majority of the Indian authors are working in literature. So if you start working with current trend like education, linguistics, EFL, or with some machine learning, just combine your work with some machine learning people, you can go for some good quality journals. There are journals. Maybe you can get my details from the committee and you can make a call to me, sir. I will share the details for English.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, this is regarding impact factor. Can you explain, in the presentation you were mentioning impact factor should be given by Web of Science or something. So can you clarify that point again, sir? Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, there are two major indexing databases are available, ma'am, in this current scientific one. So the first one is Web of Science. The second one is Scopus. So in Web of Science, it contains Science Citation Index, Social Sciences Citation Index. So for the articles that are indexed in these citation indexes will be given impact factor. So how they will evaluate impact factor is the number of articles published in the last 2 years. Let's assume in the last 2 years, the journal has published 100 articles. Each year they have published 50-50. So 100 articles. So the number of citations gained in the last 2 years. So for the 100 articles, it has gained 100 citations. So 100 divided by 100, how much, ma'am? 1, right?
Yeah.
So the journal impact factor is 1. That's it.
Okay.
So when you go for a Scopus, number of articles published in the last 3 years and number of citations obtained for the articles that are published in the last 3 years.
Okay.
It should be called as site score.
Site score. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Only Web of Science provides impact factor.
No, suppose some of the journal which are listed in Scopus has impact factor. For example, yeah. So, I mean, for many of the MDPI.
Actually, journals, many of the SCA journals will be indexed in both Scopus, both Web of Science. So both are different databases. A journal can be indexed in both databases. So when it is indexed in both databases, journal will have site score as well as impact factor.
Okay.
You understand, ma'am?
So, sir, for example, shall I take one journal name and then ask?
Ma'am, you belong to which field, ma'am? You belong to which field, ma'am?
Engineering, sir.
Engineering. Okay, ma'am. Let's take IEEE electron devices. So IEEE electron devices is indexed in Scopus. So IEEE is a different database. IEEE electron devices is also indexed in Web of Science.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So it will have Scopus site score. Since it is indexed in Web of Science, it will also have impact factor. That's it.
Okay. So journal which suppose they are advertising we have impact factor of 2.3. Is it fine to submit paper in such journal which are listed out in Scopus also? I mean, indexed in Scopus.
No, ma'am. Actually, that's what we were discussing. Whenever you submit an article to some journal, you should always make sure the journal is listed in Web of Science. If it is not listed in Web of Science, the impact factor is entirely fake. You should never go for those kind of journals.
Okay, sir. Okay. So journal should be indexed in Web of Science as well as Scopus. Only then they can give impact factor.
No.
They can have
even if it is the journal, if it is even not indexed in Scopus, if it is indexed in SE, then they will get impact factor.
Okay, sir. Basically, Web of Science will be providing impact factor.
Actually, basically, when compared to Scopus, Web of Science is little more higher standard, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Actually, if you go to Europe or some other China or Taiwan, they don't know what is Scopus. Really, they don't know what is Scopus. If you publish an article in Web of Science indexed journal, for each publication they will provide you 1 lakh honorarium. But if you publish a paper in Scopus, you will get nothing.
Okay, sir. Okay, I got it. So Web of Science has more value than Scopus. Am I right?
Yeah. Actually, some of the Scopus journals that are listed in Q2, Q3 may not be listed in Web of Science. Standard is much more higher than standard. Scopus.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes,
I got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone have a doubt?
Sir, one more question. Can you give some website link so that we can go and search the details of the journal, whether it's legitimate or fake journal? Any website is there?
Ma'am, directly you can go to the Scopus. Directly you can go to the Web of Science. For DOAJ, directly you can go to the DOAJ website where you can check the journal details. For COPE, even they have list of journals, list of member journals in their website. You can check the originality of the journal.
Okay, sir. Okay. So directly to the website we can check Scopus.
You should directly check in the particular respective website. Then you should not check the details in third-party websites because they might mislead you.
Okay. So thank you.
Yes.
Participants, any queries?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Sir, if possible, kindly share the PPT, sir.
Yes, sir. I will share the PPT, sir. No issue, sir. I will share the PPT to the.
If possible, you can share the PPT, sir. Today's PPT.
Sir, already I have shared the PPT to the FDP team, sir. You can get it from them.
Sir, also there is another question in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, shall I ask you one more question?
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
I'm asking a lot of
It's okay,
questions.
ma'am. No problem. You can ask. You can
Yeah.
ask.
Sir, according to you, nowadays there are a lot of AI tools have come to, there's a lot of tools to help researcher to write a paper. So according to your view, so will that be okay if they take the tool and write the paper and submit to journal? How far the journal is checking, or is it good or bad?
Ma'am, actually, it's not good, ma'am. Maybe you can use AI for some improving the quality of your writing, but you should not fully depend on AI for writing your articles, because in this year more than 70 articles has been retracted from the journals just because they have used AI. Since they have used AI, there are so many flaws. So more than 70 articles has been retracted from the journals. So my recommendation is not to use AI tools for writing the whole articles. Also, when you ask AI to generate references for some of the topics, actually, which will be not authenticated. If you check the originality of the references, majority of the references will be fabricated by AI. So they are not original. So my recommendation is not to go for AI.
Okay. Are the journal checking, sir? Journal from their side.
Yes, recently in Parenting, they have included AI checking some tool. So journals will check, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, also there is another question stating the importance of research square in the Springer publication. Can you clarify?
Ma'am, research square is nothing but a preprint version of preprint database that is owned by Springer publication, ma'am. Whenever you submit article to the Springer journals, they may ask whether you want to submit a preprint to the research square. If you are okay with that, they will post your article in research square. But I personally recommend not to post your article in research square, because some journals, if your article gets rejected in Springer publications, if you want to submit your article to some other journal, if the article is already posted in research square, some journals may not accept your article for review. So my recommendation is not to go for research square. They will provide you the two options, whether you want to deposit or whether you do not want to deposit the article in the research square. So you can choose the either one. So someone has asked, as a beginner, how should we approach for writing research paper as a part of both literature survey and implementation? So my answer to this question is, so if you are a beginner in research, if you are a PhD scholar or faculty, if you are trying to switch your field to some other field, so my advice is just download few of the recent review articles published in that particular domain. Read completely, or also you can try to write a new review article related to the particular topic, so that you can get a clear-cut idea about that particular domain. Then you can start writing your research articles. So directly going into the research article, I do not recommend directly writing research articles. So whenever you are starting some research, if you are a PhD scholar, I strongly recommend you to read more number of reviews and research articles. Then you try to publish at least 1 or 2 review articles. Then you can go for writing original research articles.
Participants, kindly fill the form that has been posted in the chat box. This will be considered as your attendance. Thank you, sir, for the enlightening and engaging session. Your insights were truly valuable and thought-provoking. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for providing this opportunity, ma'am. And I also thank all the participants for their patience. Thank you.
Thank you.